Blessings, and welcome to Eartheart Radio. Finally beginning to awaken from the illusion of separateness and broadcasting live from the KSKQ studios in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. Here's your host, Shankara Das.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, friends and brothers and sisters, and thank you for making time to tune in to some high frequencies. We only have 2 more shows after today until we must vacate this building at 330 Hersey Street in Ashland, Oregon. Yeah, we do have lots of faith, and we will manifest a new location for KSKQ Community Radio. It's a collective effort and a labor of love, that's for sure. Thanks to all of the terrific KSKQ volunteers doing what they can to be of service to this great station. It's a very diverse station. We are throwing an all-acoustic music benefit to help benefit the station, with all proceeds going directly to KSKQ. That's happening March 14th, 9 p.m. to midnight, Black Sheep Pub, Ashland, Oregon. Yeah, all acoustic music with the Elephant, Gene Burnett, Death Plant, Shibo Torres, and a couple surprises as far as headlining acts, which will be in line this week. Today on the show, you'll hear positive news and harmonious music as always, but I'll also spotlight and discuss the very great Islamic scholar, poet, and Sufi mystic known as Rumi. Yeah, you know, each week we like to spotlight a high-frequency soul temporarily residing in a human body. And it's never any particular religious thing or spiritual path. It's different every week. And the bottom line, it's love. It's not any organized religious thing whatsoever. But as you know, dear listener, each week we do generally present a guest to speak with as well in order to bring awareness to something or another. And today I'm happy to present a guest who is a previous guest on my Church of Rock radio show with Sister Tracy. But today we're going to discuss her book, which is titled The Narrow Path of Light. She's an artist, a vocalist, songwriter, actress, and of course an author. Give me 1 second to get my connections going, but I want to say please welcome the great Marie Currie to the Eartheart radio show. Hi, Marie.
How you doing, Derek?
Good. Everything's working, and you sound great.
Oh, well, thank you. I was kind of surprised to hear that you guys are moving. I didn't know that.
You know, we didn't either until about a week ago, and we had a little note that said, hey, you've got 30 days to vacate, so we have this collective effort to, get something quickly going.
Well, you have a wonderful show, so I'm sure that, there's a reason for everything.
Thank you, Marie. Are you in Vegas?
I am, and we're just about to have a real nasty windstorm. So if you hear little chihuahuas barking in the background, it's just the wind.
I hear you. I know that you were residing in Vegas, but I never know. I want to take anything, be too presumptuous, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I finished reading your book finally. You were kind enough to send me and Tracy an autographed copy of your book, The Narrow Road of Light, and first of all, thanks for that. That was really
you're so welcome.
Super nice of you. First of all, what inspired The Narrow Road of Light? It's a great book. I do like it, by the way. We just like to know what inspired it.
Well, I was kind of in a dark place, to be honest. I'd just left a marriage I was married to Steve Lukather of Toto, and we had been together for 13 years. I'd left him, and it was a very depressing time, and I got my first apartment in Marina del Rey, and it was a full moon one night with it coming down upon the sea, and it looked like a road, and I was so depressed, and I thought, you know what, I bet you $1 million I could walk on that road. And it took me everything not to go try. Of course, I knew that probably wouldn't work, but it started a poem that I wrote called The Narrow Road of Light, and then it blossomed into a book.
Wow.
A book of hope, and it makes you think.
It really does, and I had no idea you were going to tell me that was the inspiration.
Yeah. You know, sometimes beautiful things come out of things that aren't so beautiful.
They do. You know, the universe is such a paradox.
Oh, of course it is. It's incredible, and I truly believe that we never really truly know anything until this this part of our life ends,
Yeah.
I know the soul goes on. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So to see it in book form. I mean, I had Dave Foote. He's incredible as far as the illustration cover of the book, and a writer by the name of John Palisano. He's an incredible writer. He edited the book for me, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it. It's gotten fantastic reviews. And what more can I ask for?
Well, that's awesome. You should be proud. It's a good read. Thanks to Dave Foote, by the way. He did some help in helping us promote the show today, so thanks to Dave. A little shout out to him.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
How long did it take you to write the book, Marie?
Well, it took a long time. I mean, it came to me throughout years, to be honest. And when I finally decided I was going to sit down and write it, it took an entire year for me to get it where I wanted it to be. And then I went on to be a mortgage banker and kind of put that aside and didn't really release the book in a book form, which I self-published. I guess maybe it's been close to a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, and never really pushed it. But I'm going to start doing that now. I think it's a perfect time, what this world is going through, that they could use a little inspiration and something to make them think.
Yeah, I agree. And you answered a lot of my questions. I was going to ask you if it came easy or not, or, if you wrote it in little pieces here and there. So apparently you did that.
Yes.
Was it cathartic for you?
That's a hard question. Yeah, it was. When you try to write a book, also, I wanted to say that when you try to write a book and you have to live through every moment in that book, whether it's fictitious or in reality, it's an experience, whether it be painful, whether it be eye-opening. To write a book is really probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, because you have to reach out and make people feel exactly what you're feeling at that point in time.
Yeah.
So to me, it's the best thing I've done in my life, besides have two beautiful kids. I'm as proud of this book as I am of my children.
And I have seen pictures of your children on your social media, and your whole family is beautiful. Your sister, you, all your family. You've got some great genes.
No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, well, I was blessed that way, and my son is doing phenomenally well. He's in a band called ZFG, which I know on air I can't say what that means.
Thank you.
And Steve Perry just sang on that, background vocals, and
Wait,
my daughter's doing fantastic.
The singer for Journey sang on your son's backup on your son's album?
He did.
That's
yes.
Because he hasn't made any appearances hardly at all in the last 3 decades.
Can you believe it? It was a gift like no other, and he believes in the boys that much, and went in the studio and wanted to sing on what's going to be their first single, and there's pictures all over. If you just look up ZFG on Instagram, or you'll see pictures of Perry and the guitar player for oh my gosh, where's my brain? Lordy. I'll remember.
I hate when that happens. That drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Steve Perry, Sister Tracy, who we were talking about Steve Perry maybe 2 nights ago, and about how he only made that one little appearance at some weird little hall in Minnesota a couple of years ago with some band. And so that's really big news to hear that he's done any kind of work. So that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Maroon 5. That's who.
Oh, wow.
When your brain hits past 60, you forget.
Well,
you forget.
I do.
But yeah, Perry, he never lets anyone record him, and there's a lot of history there, because Trevor's significant other, Madison Kane, who is a tremendous singer, wonderful performer and model. She is Jonathan Kane of Journey's daughter.
Oh, wow. Small world.
And so she hadn't seen Steve Perry since she was 3. So it's just kind of wonderful how, everything kind of I can't even put words to it. It's an unbelievably small world, I guess. It's the only thing I could say to that.
It really is. And one of my friends and one of my teachers, Bhagavan Das, was down in Marin County recently, and he said, "Hey, I ran into Steve Perry." He's like, "I just love Steve Perry." So it's weird. Steve Perry just keeps popping up. So I guess it's hilarious that we sort of segued into him for a minute here.
Yeah.
Something I'd like to read from the back cover of your book, The Narrow Road of Light, if you don't mind.
Sure.
To quote part of it, it says, Marie Curie opens the door to a magical world where love, light, and faith guide her heartfelt characters on a path few are blessed to walk, but many wish they could. That's cool.
Thank you. I didn't write that. That was written by, I'm not sure who wrote that.
Right?
I think I certainly didn't. But yeah, no, it's beautiful, and it is the truth. We like to live vicariously through characters, and we all have so many questions. And in this book, I have to be honest with you, I think I've answered some of the questions, because I do have my beliefs in this book that I truly believe that there is something at the end of that narrow road of light.
Yeah, me too. And to finish, my friends, if you're listening right now, you're listening to the Eartheart radio show on KSKQ with my guest, Marie Curie. And the other part of the back cover of the book says this, quote, with the scent of salt drifting in on the cool breeze of their cliffside New England town, the Kerns, their daughter Angel, and dog Sadie explore the realm of mystery and miracles on a soul-expanding adventure of eternal love and devotion that leads them to a narrow road of light, visible only to those who see with their heart. That is well written as well.
I agree. I'm going to have to find out who wrote that.
Yeah, whoever did it they did a good job for you. That's for sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
As far as the book, I had some other questions I have, but you've answered so many without me even asking, actually.
You let me loose. When you let me loose, I just keep talking.
Well, I remember speaking with you on the Church of Rock and remembering it was a fun and a very easy chat, so I was looking forward to today.
Oh, me too. Me too, Derek. Thank you.
Do you have other books? And by the way, real quick, before we keep talking about this one, is this your first book?
It's my first, and it's most definitely my last. I certainly don't want to attempt anything like it again. It was on my bucket list, and that's now scratched off. But it's all consuming, and what I do instead is I've directed it in a different way. I'm an artist, and I've sold just under 1,000 pieces of work since 2013. I make mosaic guitars and crosses and violins and beautiful works, and that's what keeps me busy. And they really are beautiful works. I've witnessed those quite often on social media, and man, you are really talented. That stuff is awesome. I'll segue back into that probably towards the end of our little chat here. Okay. I wanted to ask you this. Were any of the characters in your book inspired by real life people by chance? They absolutely were. Really? And absolutely were. And Robert is the lead character was after my brother-in-law, Robert Hayes, who is the actor, been known for his work in Airplane and oh my gosh, it's endless how many things. Angie. So that really I visualized Robert Hayes as Robert Kearns, and then Sandra, my sister, is Sandra in the book. I visualized her as Robert's wife, which is kind of odd. But yes, I had to put faces to the characters, and I mimicked after the way that they are. I thought they were perfect for this book. And I loved your descriptive way of writing, the imagery you were able to conjure up with your words. Just a real good way of writing, and I really enjoyed reading the book. I actually read the book twice. Once when I first got it, I kind of jammed through it. And then once we set up this interview, I decided to read it a little bit slower, more contemplatively, just to soak it in a little more. Mm-hmm. Well, I never took any writing classes. Never really understood the differences between books and scripts, and So but I definitely wanted people to see what I was seeing in my head, so I gave it my best shot.
And you did a great job.
Thank you, Derek.
How was the press like? I know it's tough to get reviews because everyone's got a product or doing something creative, but how were the reviews and the press that you did receive?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, everybody loved the message in the book, and it left them feeling hope, and it left them feeling happy. But there's a lot of crying throughout the book, so it's a real emotional roller coaster ride. I received nothing that was negative at all. I mean, it's
That's
kind of hard
awesome.
to tear apart a story that it is fiction, so nobody can try to say that no matter what my beliefs are, it is a story. But I think everybody can relate to this story that I wrote.
Yeah.
And, and if they want to grab the book, they just go to thenarrowroadoflight.com, and the books are available on that website.
Did you write the book at home or at different places?
I wrote it at home. I wrote it at a couple different homes. I was moving around some, but I started it when I was in my own place in Marina del Rey, and then finished it at my home in Granada Hills, California.
Awesome. How about your family and friends? Were you able to get a lot of them to read the book, or have you had a lot of feedback from your loved ones?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, my sister Sandra, who's married to Alan Levy, who's a well-known director with Universal, they really wanted or believed the book should be a movie. And so we're going to start entertaining that. And I think it would be an amazing film. Again, it's something I believe we need in this day and age.
Yes.
There's too much negativity. There's too much ugliness going on, Derek, and it's very difficult, I think, for anyone to. It's too much to digest daily, and especially what this new generation has to see, not what our generation saw.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone needs some hope.
I think so.
And this book brings it.
It does. It's a very positive book, and that's why when I after I'd read it the first time, I thought it'd be fun to have Maria on just to talk about just the book and nothing else. But then I decided, hey, why not? So that's when I hit you up, because this show, I've had a little bit of flack, not much, of people trying to maybe accuse me of trying to proselytize or something. The thing is I just believe in love, so I don't have like one religion or one path. So I would never try to direct anyone to have a certain belief system except for that of kindness and love, and that's what you convey in your book.
Well, thank you. That's an incredible compliment. And sure, everybody has their beliefs, but nobody's right. No, I mean, I take a little bit of every religion and what feels right in my heart. I was raised a Catholic, but do I believe what Catholics believe? No, not necessarily. And I am exactly like you. It's all about peace. It's all about love. And something spectacular made us who we are. And who knows what that is? But we'll all find out someday.
So you don't have a particular like organized spiritual religion that you're into. You're just into like little bits of whatever sounds good and makes sense and feels right.
Absolutely. I'm a spiritualist. I've been a spiritualist for decades. As I said, raised Catholic, but
that's beautiful.
No, it just not all of that made sense to me. But I do, just like you, I believe everybody should believe what they believe in, and what feels right to them, because it is truly what makes you happy is your own personal belief system, and nobody should ever get down on anybody for what they believe, because who knows, maybe they're right. You never know.
You never know. And I just like to share. I'm never trying. I don't feel like I'm on a soapbox, and I'm certainly never preaching. I just like to present different people, different ideas, different, I read quotes from different saints and high frequency people, things like that. So certainly don't want to be mistaken for someone that's trying to convert anyone into anything, really,
Well, Derek, I think that's the beauty of your show, is that, I don't believe that we are done learning until our last breath, and then I think we continue on learning. once we shed this body.
Me too.
I think that for you to show people all different forms of religion and all different forms of belief might wake them up to something that didn't feel right in whatever religion made them comfortable at that point in their life. So I certainly, I know that whatever's going to happen with this radio show, that it's going to be bigger and better. When one door closes, another always opens.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm very blessed to actually be syndicated over in Bandon, Oregon as well. So I'm pretty happy right now about that. Outside of your book, you do so many different things. Boy, you've done a lot of stuff in your time, singing and acting and all these different art forms. Out of all the things that you do creatively, what is your very favorite? Is it creating the mosaics and the art that you do now?
Absolutely, yes.
Cool.
And excuse me, it took a long time for me to really hone what I am personally really good at, and that is these guitars and crosses, and it's so the fact that I do so many crosses. The reason that I've had a lot of people really upset with me because they say the cross is only for Christ. You can't put jewels or women or whatever on these crosses, or fairies. But to me, in this day and age, they don't have crucifixes hanging in their homes like I did when I was a child.
Yeah.
It just isn't what kids relate to anymore.
No.
What they relate to, or the younger generation, is the sign of the cross is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I don't know why it's so beautiful to me, but it is absolutely beautiful to me.
Because what it represents something pure to you, right?
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
I just finished a piece with a tea light in it that it all lights up, and it's all Austrian crystals. And
Oh, wow.
all different, I do steampunk crosses, for gosh sake.
I know.
I do all different kinds of crosses. Some people like them, some people don't. But to me, it's the most beautiful symbol there is. And it's a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily hang a cross in their home with Christ hanging from it, hang these. So
there you go.
That they're showing what their beliefs are, possibly without the backlash per se.
Yeah. And, we are on community radio versus public radio or corporate radio. So there's certain rules. We can't have these like call to actions. I can't direct people to buy things or say, hey, go do this. But we can certainly provide information that we are community radio. And no matter where you're at, we're all kind of a national community when we're talking on the same airwaves. So if people would like to view stuff, where would they go? If somebody would like to make up their own mind.
On Facebook, it's Marie Currie Creations, and that's Currie, not Y, Marie Currie Creations. And on Instagram, it's Marie Currie Creations Official. And I also have an Etsy page, Marie Currie Creations also. So that's if they want to take a gander at some of my work. It's easy for them to check it out there.
Yeah, there's some great stuff to view, my friends. And you are listening to KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show with my guest, Marie Currie. And I also want to just quickly say, for those of you that don't know, Marie's twin sister is the singer, and was singer, I guess, of the famous rock and roll band, The Runaways, which spawned Lita Ford and Joan Jett. And they have done, Marie and Cherie have done records together and music together. And when that Runaways film came out years ago, I remember Elvis Presley's granddaughter portrayed you in that movie, correct?
She did. It was her debut performance, her first performance ever as an actress, and she's really gone on to be spectacular. What a love. Riley, she's amazing.
How cool is that to have Elvis's granddaughter acting like she's you? That's funny. It's just such a neat thing. I love it.
Oh, it is. And what was even crazier, Derek, and again, we talk about a small world, is when my son found out who was cast to play me, she was his friend, had been his friend for years. And I had no idea. And he was like, Riley, you're kidding. So, yeah, it's really,
wild.
Again, It's a wild world we live in.
It really is. I'm running out of time, my friend, but again, I'm so happy to have been able to discuss the book. It's called The Narrow Road of Light. It is a really awesome read. I really enjoyed it. It's like it's a little over 200 pages. And I was happy to get this in the mail from you. And I know that if people are looking for that, anybody can look on the internet for anything if they choose to do so. But it's called The Narrow Road of Light. And boy, I really hope you get on the path to start maybe promoting this a little more, because I think quite a few people will be calling you to do interviews.
Well, thank you. And you have a beautiful day, Derek, and enjoy Super Bowl if you're a Super Bowl type of guy.
And my friend, thanks for making the time to be on the show today. I'm sure you could have done a lot of things, but you took a nearly 30 minutes to chat with me, and I have a deep bow that I owe you. So,
have a wonderful day, Derek.
Thanks. Blessings, my friend. Thanks, Marie.
Bye-bye now.
All right, bye-bye. And there you have it, my friends. The chat I've been looking forward to for about a week. Marie Currie. She's the author of The Narrow Road of Light.
At Eartheart Radio, our religion is love. Tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. on KSKQ.
Support for KSKQ comes from our listeners and from the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library. For over 15 years, RVML has been serving Southern Oregon with events and its library of books and videos to borrow or exchange. RVML is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, located at 1757 Ashland Street in Ashland. Website, of course, is rvml.org. KSKQ thanks the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library and listeners like you for supporting community radio. My name is Derek Moody, a.k.a. Shankaradas, and we do have the positive news on the way, and of course the spotlighting of the saint coming up. And I just wanted to say very much I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. And my friends, we are looking for a new home. KSKQ is looking for a new home today. We are reaching out to the community to help us find a new place to broadcast from. If you know of an appropriate space or have any ideas that might help us, please give us a call at 541-973-4463. That is 541-973-4463, or you could email us at station-manager@kskq.org. That's station-manager@kskq.org. Remember, too, we are community radio, always needing funding to keep ourselves going. We don't have the corporate conglomerates handing us checks, grants, and things like that. We need the community help, like the folks like me, you, everyone listening. So if you maybe have a little extra you can spare to help us out, that would be so appreciated. You can simply go to kskq.org. You can use your debit card or credit card, and the money goes directly to the PayPal for KSKQ, helping keep us going. And we would really appreciate that from all you guys.
Community, love, truth, nature, spirit. Eartheart Radio on KSKQ.
You are listening to the Eartheart Radio Show. Thank you for being here at KSKQ. Locals Guide is proud to be an underwriter of KSKQ. Locals Guide is committed to community building through the creation of positive media. They offer a monthly magazine, mobile travel guides, and a visitor information kiosks, which offer timely and accurate local information to people just like you all around the world. KSKQ thanks Locals Guide and listeners like you for supporting community radio. My friends, today after you hear Eartheart Radio, we present Philosophy Talk, and then a show called Sprouts, and then at 4:30 it's Building Bridges. At 5 p.m., This Way Out. 5:30 it's Shortwave Radio. At 6 p.m. it's Big Picture Science. At 7 p.m., The Church of Rock with Sister Tracy. At 9 p.m., Easy Listening for the Hard of Hearing is actually no longer with us, darn it. I loved that show. Justin Harmon, if you're listening, bring it back. We do have a late night funk and R&B playlist tonight and tomorrow. For your Monday, you can wake up bright and early, 6 p.m., and tune into KSKQ and catch This Way Out and then Shortwave Radio. And for the news folks out there, Democracy Now! At 7, and of course the morning show at 8. with Sally and Freeform Radio. Yeah, thanks for being here, my friends. It's time to do something we do every single week. We like to spotlight a high-frequency soul temporarily inhabiting a human body.
Saints, angels, avatars, sages, yogis, holy men, medicine women, helpers, elders, revolutionaries, and advocates of love. Today we honor and show love, respect, and gratitude.
That's right. I want to say hello to Mama Bear, who's usually tuned in. Mama Bear and Papa Bear in Ashland, thank you for listening. Also, Oddly Toddly, if you're tuned in, thank you, brother. Thank you also to the following listeners who have checked in with me to let me know they are tuned into Eartheart Radio. Doug Shields, Sam Dantone, Diane Lorenz, Brenda Roche, Audrey, Jesse Red, Ron Blood, and Tracy and Jet. They're all tuned in. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. We do have a nonprofit, non-monetized YouTube channel called Eartheart Radio. Eartheart is spelled with one H, Earth, and then the word heart right after that. Today, we are going to focus, or I'm going to focus, on yet another high-frequency being. Today, it's Rumi. That's right, born September 30th, 1207. Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi was a 13th century Persian poet, Islamic scholar, theologian, and Sufi mystic originally from Afghanistan. Rumi's influence transcends national borders and ethnic divisions. Iranians, Turks, Greeks, and Central Asian Muslims, and the Muslims of South Asia have greatly appreciated his spiritual legacy for the past 7 centuries. His poems have been widely translated into many of the world's languages and transposed into various formats. Rumi has been described as the most popular poet and the best-selling poet in the United States. The most important influences upon Rumi, besides his father, were the Persian poets Attar and Sanai. Rumi's father was a theologian, jurist, and a mystic who was known as the, quote, Sultan of the Scholars. The profession of the family for several generations was that of Islamic preachers of the liberal Hanafi rite, and this tradition was continued by Rumi. In 1225, Rumi married. They had 2 children, both sons. When his wife died, Rumi married again and had another son and daughter. At age 25, Rumi inherited a position of head of the madrasa, which is an Islamic religious school. During this period, he also traveled to Damascus and is said to have spent 4 years there. It was his meeting of Shamsi Tabrizi that completely changed his life. From an accomplished teacher, Rumi was transformed into an ascetic. Rumi spent 12 years of his life dictating 6 volumes of his masterwork, the Masnavi. In December 1273, Rumi fell ill. He did predict his own death, which begins with the verse, "How dost thou know what sort of king I have within me as companion? Do not cast thy glance upon my golden face, for I have iron legs." Rumi did die December 17th in the year of 1273. His death was mourned by a diverse community, a very diverse community, with local Christians and Jews joining the crowd that did converge to bid farewell as his body was interred through the city. He was actually buried beside that of his father. His epitaph reads, "When we are dead, seek not our tomb in the earth, but find it in the hearts of men." Rumi believed passionately in the use of music, poetry, and dance as a path for reaching God. I would like to say the views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the speaker, guest, or host, and do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of KSKQ, the Multicultural Association of Southern Oregon, or the underwriters of KSKQ. I'm Derek Moody. You're at Eartheart Radio Show at KSKQ Radio. You are at the Eartheart Radio Show at KSKQ, and thank you, my friends, for tuning in. Fun little song there, huh? I like that a lot. I'm trying to find the name of the artist. She is an Iranian singer named Leila Forahar. That's Forouhar. I admit I'm not very good at pronouncing things sometimes. I have a little problem with that, and I always have, it seems like, but sorry, I do my best. How about a couple of quotes from the poet known as Rumi? A couple quotes from Rumi. Quote, "Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion." Another Rumi quote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." I like that one. One more Rumi quote, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form." I have to agree. Underwriting support for this program is brought to you by Southern Oregon Jobs with Justice. Southern Oregon Jobs with Justice is a coalition of workers, labor unions, community organizations, students, and faith groups working to improve our community standard of living, job security, and workers' right to organize. Their members participate in the struggle for living wage jobs, fair trade, affordable housing, health care for all, and immigration rights. For more info, call 541-841-8341 or visit their webpage at www.sojwj.org. My friends, thanks again for being here. Next week on the show, we're getting close to the last show because we're looking for a new home. But next week on the show, my guest will be the one and only Nicole Brady, a.k.a. DJ Starlight. She has a show here on KSKQ from 3 until 5 p.m. on Tuesdays called Soul Shine. Well, DJ Starlight's going to be a guest on the Eartheart show as we discuss Amma, the hugging saint, because DJ Starlight is a devotee of the saint known as Amma. So I'm looking forward to that next week. And then the following week, we have Deanna Larkins joining me. She's a vegan. We're going to talk about hardcore eating healthy, and she's also an intuitive. So that'll be interesting, right? So you can look forward to that happening on the next couple of weeks. I did get some mail from a listener who, it was very beautiful poetry, this listener. Her name is Luna. She's a local poet and a screenplay writer, and I would like to share some poetry she did send to me. She also sent a cash donation. Thank you so much, Luna. That has been turned into our treasurer. This is from Luna. It's called Full Moon Dancing Shiva. Ancient goddess of the dance of life, manifesting the spiral dance of time, mystically unfolding primordial wonder, eternal adventure, joy of creation, light of truth, sanctity of every living thing. The forest, deep whispers in the wind of rain and fertile soil, sweet clean air pungent with the smell of pine, oak, spruce, cedar, and mahogany, on which the river of life depends. Nature's web, so intricately woven, so recklessly destroyed. O dancing goddess, remind us of our kinship with the rest of life on earth. That was from Luna. Thank you, Luna, for your donation. Here's another one from Luna called Rainforest. Starshine, dancing, leaping, sweeping over fields of flowers glistening. Shining back at the sun, our earth is a garden of heavenly delights. Moon, stars, sun, oceans, rivers, forests, all aglow with heaven's immortal soul of light. Dancing through the winds of time, may we honor this earth as our mother, and love one another as she, our earth mother, loves and nourishes all of life. Let our love light shine with kindness and compassion in our family of life. May we be gentle in the way. Thank you, Luna. Luna is a local poet and screenplay writer. Thank you so much for that.
You're listening to Eartheart Radio with your host, Shankara Das. The Saint He Ain't. On KSKQ.
All right, my friends, I think we should try to squeeze in some positive news. What do you think? We're running out of time, but I think I can do this. I really do. Let's try it. Let's give it a shot, right?
Things aren't as bad as it seems, no matter what they say. News with an agenda is meant to instill fear. True news can instill hope.
All right, my friends. Positive news story number one. After years of helping a crow family, man is mind blown over his homemade gift in return. An enthusiastic backyard watcher named Stuart Dahlquist spent years leaving out food for a family of crows, but he never expected to be given anything in return for the snacks. Well, that's why he was all the more shocked when he was surprised with a gift from the crows. The 56-year-old Seattle homeowner first became acquainted with the bird family after he rescued 2 chicks that had fallen out of their nest in his front yard 5 years ago. He always delighted in listening to the baby birds chirping to their parents during feeding time. So when he found the tiny crows on the ground, he knew he had to help. He even left out food and water at the base of the tree in case they fell out a second time. He then began regularly throwing bird food into the front yard, and the crows apparently took notice. One day he was surprised to find a fir sprig that had been decorated with a soda can tab. Not only that, it was left in the exact spot where he was feeding the crows. The next day he was offered a second soda tab decorated branch courtesy of the crows. Quote, "This isn't only generous, it's creative, it's art," Dahlquist wrote on social media. "My mind is blown." Jennifer Campbell Smith, a behavioral ecologist who earned her PhD studying crows at Birmingham University, told the Audubon Society that, quote, "Knowing these birds and how intelligent they are, I would not be shocked." That's pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. The crows, man. Okay, positive news number 2. It's never too late to stop smoking cigarettes. A new study finds that lungs do magically repair themselves after quitting smoking, no matter how old you are. The exciting new study says that protective cells in the lungs of ex-smokers could certainly explain why quitting smoking dramatically reduces the risk of developing lung cancer. The study shows that quitting smoking could do much more than just stopping further damage to the lungs. Researchers believe it could also allow new, healthy cells to actively replenish the lining of our airwaves. The results highlight the benefits of stopping smoking completely at any age. Quote, "People who have smoked heavily for 30 or 40 years or more say to me that it's too late to stop smoking and that the damage is already done," says the study's joint senior author, Dr. Peter Campbell from the Wellcome Sanger Institute. Quote, "What is so exciting about our study is that it shows that it's never too late to quit. Some of the people in our study had smoked more than 15,000 packs of cigarettes in their life, but within a few years of quitting, many of the cells lining their airwaves showed no evidence of damage from tobacco." How cool is that, huh? Last one, rocker John Bon Jovi opens a pay-what-you-can restaurant. That's right, New Jersey rocker Bon Jovi has opened restaurants to serve the hungry and homeless. Anyone visiting his JBJ Soul Kitchen is always welcome to dine on fresh, lovingly prepared food, even when they have no money, by pledging volunteer hours in return. This week, the 57-year-old rock star, along with his longtime wife, Dorothea, opened their third Soul Kitchen restaurant in New Jersey on the campus of Rutgers University. It now serves a new demographic of hungry, low-income customers, the college student. The menu features locally sourced ingredients and offers several methods of payment. Pay what you can, pay what you want, volunteer, or pay it forward. A structure intended to create a sense of community, respect, and dignity, as well as charity among local communities. More than 105,000 meals have been served so far, with 46% of diners paying through volunteering and the remaining 54% with donations. That's beautiful. You have been listening to the Eartheart Radio Show, and thank you so much. I am so happy to have you here. Tune in later or stick around for Philosophy Talk. And have a great Sunday, my friends.
You've been listening to Eartheart Radio with your host, Shankara Das. Eartheart Radio is produced by Shankara Das in association with Sister Tracy and Krishna Consciousness. Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for more Eartheart Radio.